dancers! Welcome back to the Whole Dancer YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk a little bit about dealing with an unstructured schedule in the summer. This is something that I just addressed on the blog, so if you want to head over to thewholedancer.com and check that out, you can look for that, some tips on keeping your summer productive and how to manage those times when you're not as busy or the times when you're super busy, because there tends to be a lot of ups and downs in the summer with schedule for dancers, so I wanted to address that over on the blog. But then today I just wanted to chat a little bit more about it and get a little more in depth about some ways that you might do some planning to make sure that your summer is super productive and not, feeling lazy or worrying that you're falling back with your technique goals, or feeling like, sometimes you feel like you go to summer intensive and things improve and you're on an upswing and you're on this high from being at summer intensive, and then you get home and you have, 3 weeks where there's nothing going on. Maybe there's not even a ballet class available to you. So, you're going to worry naturally that you are falling back. How do you deal with that? How do you deal with the times of craziness versus the times of quiet and less going on? So the number one thing to do is to plan. I don't want to sound like a broken record or cliche. And I get it, sure, just plan, but how do you really make that work for you? So this is what I do. I'm actually in a position myself where I'm moving into a different schedule where I'm going to be focusing more on the whole dancer, which is super exciting for me. But at the same time, I've realized, things are shifting and I can't just allow it all to just fall into place and think it's going to perfectly fall into new routines and fall into this new schedule seamlessly. It takes some thought and it takes some planning. So look at the weeks ahead. When you have those weeks when you're at summer intensive, it's unlikely that you'll have much time for anything else, except you could probably do a little bit of planning in the evening or something like that. So you can definitely utilize some of that time to think about what's coming next and ensure that you're going to keep it moving in a positive direction. Definitely, take some of the best things that you're learning at summer intensive and brainstorm while you're there ways that you can maintain those things in the time that you're not dancing as much or the time that you have layoff. So maybe one of your teachers is going to show you an awesome bar exercise, or maybe, one day the teacher gives a really great just bar or a class overall. Do your best to recall as much of that as you can, and then find a studio or a space where you can get in and give yourself that class. A lot of times at summer intensive, teachers will offer strength training exercises, or you'll have those workshops. Take notes so that you can take those learnings with you into the next phase, into those weeks when you don't have as much going on. A big thing that I suggest with the weeks when you don't have as much dancing happening is to, join a new gym, a new yoga studio, seek out some private personal training, or seek out some private ballet lessons, or seek out, there are awesome resources online for ballet classes. Catherine Morgan does lots of those videos. And commit to having some ballet in your life 5 or 6 days out of the week. How do you commit to that? A lot of times setting up routines within your planning is going to go so far. So I want you to seek out those classes, maybe Pilates with a private instructor, or more and more there are group reformer classes available. I think those are even better for dancers than the mat classes. So see if you can work some of those in and commit to it. So how do you commit to it? You're going to set up a routine for each day. Plan hour by hour, and allow also, in addition to planning those days hour by hour, some days, like 1 or 2 days a week, where you don't do any of that planning, where you say, these are my free-for-all days. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, Netflix first thing in the morning, maybe no exercise outside of just getting outside or walking on the beach, or, something that's fun and refreshing and summery and restorative. So you'll have those days when you're not planning and there's no real routine happening. But the other days I want you to set up a routine. So you'll say, I wake up, I journal about what's inspiring me as a dancer and as a person. I have breakfast. I drink coffee if I'm into that. Watch the coffee video because you'll know I'm at a weird place with coffee right now. You drink your coffee, you go to a yoga class. Maybe you try a new yoga class in the morning. Maybe then you have private ballet in the afternoons, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, whatever budget might allow. Then perhaps in the evening, you set aside 2 hours or 3. I mean, it's life. So I want you to be somewhat flexible when you have the opportunity to be flexible as a dancer, because so often our schedules are stringent and set, and we have rehearsals and we have class and we have performances. So you don't always get that opportunity to have the flexibility. So I do want you to give yourself some. So say 2 or 3 hours, I'm getting together with this friend who I haven't seen in a while and reconnecting and seeing what she's up to. Put in some time each day for, personal development and personal growth. Maybe reading a book about your favorite dancer, because that's going to inspire you. Read a memoir about your favorite dancer. Maybe you read a book about feeling more confident or finding more strength, or maybe you read a book about cross training, or, seek out those mentors. Or, the Whole Dancer program is available all the time. You could sign up for that and let that be your personal growth in the evenings when you don't have as much going on. And then you'll have your time, maybe when you're watching TV, maybe when you're just relaxing, maybe you're going and doing things you don't always have time for during the year, like getting massages or getting a pedicure, because for dancers, sometimes I think that feels like a waste. When you're dancing all the time and you're sticking your toes in point shoes, a pedicure doesn't exactly last. But in the summer, hey, maybe that's your opportunity. Indulge in a pedicure, one with a nice foot massage or calf massage. Take some time for yourself. Make sure that you're really, really enjoying the summer season. But also keep in mind that it can be one of your most growth-oriented and focused times of the year. So definitely keep that in mind. Head over, as I mentioned, to the Whole Dancer blog and check out the recent post, because I give some guidelines as far as what things are a good idea during summer intensive to try, should you be trying a new meal plan or new diet during your summer intensive, or should you save that for the time off? So really plan out those routines, because that's how you're going to make sure that you're making positive progress throughout the summer. When it comes to food, I want you to remember that in the warmer months, we tend to be attracted toward cooler foods like salads or smoothies, lighter dishes, lighter eating, things that are not as heavy. You're not going to be craving so much comfort foods like you do in the winter when it's cold and you're desiring that warmth and inner comfort. So take advantage of wanting more raw foods and, switch to more raw foods in your diet. It's going to be a great way to get closer to your body goals over the summer, and an easy way just to consciously make that switch to greater density of raw foods. And it's going to feel really refreshing and energizing. Raw foods are some of the most energizing foods. That's why proponents of a raw food diet go crazy on the life force of raw foods. And it's true, but at the same time, I think that there is benefit to cooked foods as well. Summertime is a great opportunity to incorporate more raw foods into your diet. So that's the biggest thing with the shifting schedule, with dealing with times of layoff, with dealing with times of intensity. You have to think about routines and set them up as quickly as possible. Go easy on yourself though. I have had to do this for myself lately as well, because I've realized, I think I said to myself, oh, my schedule is changing, more time for the Whole Dancer. It's going to be so easy to just jump into more work and shift the way I had been approaching my days. It hasn't been easy. I have had days when I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to be working now, but now I have all this time. So I would put it off and just not get started early enough, and then it sort of ended up feeling like my schedule had not shifted at all. So give yourself a little bit of understanding and know that there will be that period of time when you're sort of adjusting, and creating new habits, which is huge and challenging to do. Creating new habits is one of the hardest things, but you need to associate pleasure with the new habit you want to form. Think about, what are the benefits of this new habit? What positive things is it going to bring to my life? What are the negatives associated with not implementing this new habit? So like for me, with having more time to work on the Whole Dancer, not putting that time in means the Whole Dancer is not going to continue to grow the way that I want it to. So for you as a dancer, not putting the time into creating these new routines and making sure that you're harnessing and making sure that you're trying new cross training means that, you're not going to have the level of growth that you could during the summer. In addition to these tips and going over and checking out the blog, I want you to think about purchasing the Whole Dancer Summer Intensive Success Diary. I created it for this summer 2017. It's over at thewholedancer.com on the programs page. It is the first option, Summer Success Diary. It's $7. And I think that it could have a really positive impact on the work that you do in your summer intensive, how you approach the summer intensive, your confidence while you're there, and therefore your potential for improvement. It's going to help you to get really focused in on why you're there, what you want to work on, why it's important, how you're going to sustain the progress, and make your summer intensive as awesome and productive as possible. So go over to thewholedancer.com and be sure to check that out. I'll also link it below the video with all the other links that I mentioned in this video. Thanks so much for checking it out today, and I will be in touch.